What if I told you that the single most important thing you do every single day for your health, for your mind, for your entire life is the one thing we're all constantly told to sacrifice? Well, by the end of this explainer, you are going to understand why this one activity is so critical that neglecting it is a legitimate, life-threatening risk. But first, I have a question for you. What activity is so dangerous, so harmful to a human being, that the Guinness Book of World Records, the people who celebrate folks jumping from the edge of space, has banned anyone from ever attempting it again? Just think about that for a second. What could possibly be that risky? The answer is attempting to break the world record for staying awake. That's right. They decided that based on the science, it was just too dangerous to even attempt. So the real question we have to answer is, why? Why is simply staying awake so incredibly hazardous? Well, the answers are pretty shocking, and they are all waiting for us inside this book. We're diving into Why We Sleep by Dr. Matthew Walker. He's one of the world's top sleep scientists, and this isn't just a casual interest for him. He has spent more than 2 decades researching sleep, and what he's found is honestly a total game changer for how we need to think about our nightly rest. Okay, so to really get why staying awake can be so bad for us, we first have to understand the 2 powerful, invisible forces that are constantly battling to control when you feel sleepy and when you feel alert. And trust me, it's way more interesting than just how long you've been up. So your urge to sleep is run by 2 different systems. First, there's your circadian rhythm. You can think of this as your body's internal 24-hour clock. It's pre-programmed to make you feel awake and alert during the day and start winding you down for sleep at night, pretty much no matter what you do. The second system is something called adenosine pressure. Basically, from the moment you wake up, a chemical called adenosine starts building up in your brain. It's like a sleep pressure gauge. The longer you're awake, the more of it builds up, creating a stronger and stronger desire to sleep. And this is where it gets really cool. When your circadian rhythm starts its natural dip in the evening, right when your adenosine pressure is hitting its peak, bam, you get that irresistible, overwhelming urge to fall asleep. Then, all night long, your brain works to clear out all that adenosine. So when your internal clock starts ticking up again in the morning, you wake up feeling clear and refreshed. So if our bodies have this perfectly tuned, elegant system designed to make us sleep, it has to be for a pretty spectacular reason, right? What on earth is our brain doing every single night that is so important it requires us to be completely unconscious and vulnerable for nearly a third of our lives? And that brings us to the superpowers that sleep gives your mind, because it turns out, while you're sleeping, your brain isn't resting at all. In fact, it's doing some of its most brilliant and creative work. Dr. Walker tells this amazing story about a pianist. He'd be practicing a really tough piece, getting stuck, making these same mistakes again and again. He'd go to bed frustrated, but then he'd wake up the next day, sit down, and just be able to play it perfectly. Now, that's not magic, it's neuroscience. Sleep takes our new memories, especially physical skills, and basically cements them into our brains. The old saying is wrong. Practice doesn't make perfect. Practice plus sleep makes perfect. Dr. Walker has this fantastic analogy for how it works. Think of your brain as a sculptor. Your experiences from the day are just a big, raw block of clay. First, in deep non-REM sleep, your brain gets to work carving away all the unimportant, trivial memories you don't need. Then, later in the night during REM sleep, it starts strengthening all the important connections that are left, etching in the details. This process literally helps us find solutions to problems that seemed impossible when we were awake. This whole nightly miracle thing for your mind is incredible, right? But it brings up a really scary question. What happens when you cut that process short? Well, it turns out the consequences go way beyond just feeling a bit groggy. Your body's most essential defense systems start to collapse, and it all begins with the heart. Okay, so this is where the research gets truly alarming. We're about to look at the direct and devastating link between not getting enough sleep and your physical health. And the danger is immediate. We can actually see it happen every single year in this giant global experiment that involves over 1 billion people, daylight savings time. In the spring, when we lose just 1 hour of sleep, hospitals report a jaw-dropping 24% spike in heart attacks the very next day. And in the fall, when we gain an hour, heart attacks plummet. That is the incredible power of a single hour of sleep. And it's not just your heart. Your immune system is just as fragile. Think about your natural killer cells. They're like your body's elite security force, hunting down and destroying dangerous invading cells. Well, after just one single night of only 4 hours of sleep, their activity drops off a cliff. In a single night, you can effectively disarm your body's immune defense system. The long-term picture is even more frightening. Dr. Walker presents overwhelming evidence that not getting enough sleep is a key lifestyle factor that can determine whether or not you will develop these diseases. Pretty much every major disease that's killing people in the modern world has a direct causal link to a lack of sleep. The evidence is it's overwhelming, and frankly, it's terrifying. It forces us to ask what might be the most important question of all. In our modern world, which seems to glorify being busy and sleep-deprived, how in the world do we fight back and get the sleep our bodies are screaming for?
So here's the crucial thing. This is not a lost cause. You have the power to change this. And Dr. Walker provides a clear, simple toolkit to do it, and you can start tonight.
And so now we've come full circle. We can finally answer that question from the beginning. Why did the Guinness Book of World Records ban the sleep deprivation record? It's because sleep is not some optional luxury. It is a non-negotiable biological necessity. Skimping on it cripples your brain, it devastates your immune system, and it dramatically increases your risk of disease and a shorter life. But here is the payoff. Here's the good news. Here are 4 simple tips that can make a huge difference. Number 1, keep your bedroom cool. Your body actually needs to drop its core temperature to fall asleep, and a cool room helps that happen. Number 2, keep it dark. Light, especially the blue light from our phones and screens, it slams the brakes on melatonin production, which tricks your brain into thinking it's still daytime. 3, avoid alcohol before bed. I know, it feels like it helps you fall asleep, but it's really just sedation. And it's terrible for your sleep quality, especially for blocking that critical REM sleep. And 4, this is the most important one, stick to a schedule. Go to bed and wake up at the same time every single day. Yes, even on weekends. It anchors your whole sleep rhythm.
Ultimately, this whole book is a powerful call to action. As Dr. Walker writes, it is time to reclaim our right to a full night of sleep without the stigma of laziness. We have to stop thinking of sleep as weakness and start treating it like the most powerful health elixir we have. So the question that why we sleep really leaves us with is this. Knowing what you know now, are you ready to reclaim your right to a full night's sleep? If you found this useful, you're going to be fascinated by how our sleep patterns connect directly to our diet, which is exactly what we're exploring in our next explainer. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss it.